Well,
Speech off.
I'm going to have a rant at the moment. I was considering voting for Labor instead of Liberals for Scott Morrison because I don't like him. But there's one problem I found out today which makes me not want to vote for Labor, and it makes me want to vote for Scott Morrison. Now, before I go on, this might offend a few viewers, so be ready for it. Skip if you don't want to hear it, or whatever you think, because I'm going to get started today. Sunrise just tweeted a few minutes ago, so like half an hour ago, that Labor was going to help parents with their child support costs. Okay, don't get me started on that one. I think if you're going to have a child, you should have the ability to afford child support, otherwise don't have a kid. If you're one of these people that didn't mean to have a child, then you should have meant to use birth control and you should have meant to do a lot of things. In this day and age, for God's sake, it's not 1980 or 1990 anymore, it's 2019. In this day and age, how the hell can you say, I don't know how to protect myself from having a child? Of course you do. Children used to be accidents, they're not accidents anymore. People excuse themselves with, I didn't plan the baby. Well, they must be stupid then, because nowadays you can't have an unplanned pregnancy. You can if you medically prevent pregnancy, do it all correctly, okay, and then something happens that stops the birth control from working, I could understand that. You know, if you're not wanting a child and you do all these different things at the doctor's, but for some reason you still get pregnant, I can understand that's unplanned. I can understand that's an accident. I can understand that, because you can't really control everything. You know, you can try to have control over everything in life, but sometimes you do everything properly, everything's working, you're doing well, the doctor checks on you, but for some reason the medication or the plan didn't work and you still get pregnant and you think, oh shit, the baby's fine, but you didn't want a baby at this stage. What did you do wrong? All you did was do what the doctor said and the treatment plan didn't work. That's all. That's all that would have happened. And it happens sometimes. Treatment doesn't work. So it's hard to predict these things. It's very hard to predict any of these things, really. You know, who's to say that any medical treatment would work properly for everyone? You know, so there are certain things that I can understand. But for the most part, at least most of the time, at least, people who have kids by accident are really irresponsible, because they're not having an accident. They know what to do to prevent a pregnancy. They know what to do if their treatment plan fails. Then that's a different story altogether. They know what to do, you know, if sorry, I had to finish my coffee. They know what to do if they're having trouble with their medical plan. So, yeah, most of the time, people are just irresponsible. And I was going to vote for Labor. But I decided that no, I'm not going to vote for Labor to help them cover child support costs for parents who irresponsibly have sex. They know better. They know what the consequences are. They know what to do for 90% of cases where things don't fail. They know what to do to protect themselves from babies and infections that they don't want. If they do want it, then that's a choice they have to make, and yeah, they need to pay child support, and they're probably some people who want kids are not very responsible. Well, this is why I also disagree with Labor, the Labor Party helping to cover childcare costs, because people know that if they want to have a child, they have to be responsible to look after the baby, and if they're not responsible when they have the baby, they're just as fault as those who think to themselves, oh, I know all the rules about protected sex and that, but it doesn't apply to me. You know, it's just as bad. You know, so get a grip on it, guys, get a grip. You know, I'm not going to vote for a political party who enables bad behaviour from people and everything, and that's what Labor's doing. And as much as I really don't like Scott Morrison, there are a lot of things I do agree with about him. I don't like him. I don't think he's a nice person, but he's probably someone who, if I met him in the street, he might appear to be very nice to say hello to. But really, all the shit I heard about him on TV, I don't really like him. But at the same time, on the same token, there are lots of things I do agree about his policies. As for Labor and Bill Shorten, I really hate him. I think I dislike him more than I dislike Scott Morrison now. I think he's a friggin' pushover, and I think he doesn't deserve to run Australia. As much as I think Scott Morrison's a bloody arsehole, I do think he has some pretty good policies in place, considering how much of a dickhead he can be. So he is getting my thumbs up, I'm afraid. I was going to give him thumbs down, but after hearing the shit about Labor today, I thought, nah, fuck the Labor Party, fuck them, I don't want them. I don't like Labor. They can all get fucked. I can all fucking piss off, and I'm going to vote. I think it's below the line. No, wait, it's above the line. If you just want to vote for the parties and not for all the senators, you vote above the line, which is what I'll be doing. You're not supposed to tell people who you're voting for, but you know what? After hearing all the shit that Labor's doing, I thought, it's not a secret anymore. Everyone knows I'll be voting Liberals now, because I've heard so much bloody shit from Labor that any fool would know that I'm not going to vote for them. So, yeah. My opinion about child support, though, is, and it could be offensive. It could be an offensive opinion, but you know what? It isn't the government's fault that you choose to have a child and then you want the government to crawl into your lap and give you a little bit of money for child support. Well, for you selfish fuckers who want the government to give you some money for your stupid kids, how about you let people who really need the money have it? Because you certainly don't. If you can't afford to look after a child, why have you got one? If Labor pays for people to have unwanted kids and to not be responsible for the children they choose to have, okay, then their promises of budgeting hospitals and doctors and that, it's going to break down and they'll come unstuck and we'll be in a worse off position than we've ever been before Labor came into power. Oh, God. You look, the last time Labor came into power, they weren't in for very long. The coalition, Liberals, took over. Because, yeah, Labor sucked. They come unstuck. They couldn't control Australia. Didn't know how to run the country. They really came unstuck. And then the Liberals took over. And now it's happening again. Labor's trying to come into power. And all these policies that they're promising are coming unstuck because they can't even follow through with the promises, with the policies that they've come up with, all because of the shit that they're doing for people who don't even deserve the money. You know, like irresponsible parents who either choose to have a child and don't give two shits about the kids, or choose not to have children and then think the sex rules don't apply to me, and so they have a baby. And then they expect the government to step in and pick up the mess, so that taxpayers can't pay for hospitals and all that sort of shit that really do need funding. So yeah, while your irresponsible vagina is getting penetrated by an irresponsible bloody man, you're taking away money from charities and facilities that really need that money so that your irresponsible bumhole can get what it wants. Wink, wink, wink. Well, go and keep your winks to yourself. And stop breeding like cats and dogs. Because while someone's having a heart attack in hospital, while someone's at the doctor's begging for medical treatment that they can't afford, your lovely uterus is excreting something that most of us don't want to pay for. That you're begging the government to take care of for you. So that the truly needy in society, like sick people and emergency rooms and expensive medical places and all that, have budgeting cuts so that your sexual irresponsibility and hedonism and irresponsibly provided, irresponsibly decided, irresponsibly decisive child can take money off the taxpayers and off the government. If you want a baby and you want your lovely sweetheart to be with you 24 hours a day, why don't you pay for its child support? You're the one that wanted it. And don't blame the baby or the government for your irresponsible sex life, because it's not their fault. It's yours. Oh well, my rant is over, and I'm enjoying some McCain's honey mustard chicken. Yum. Yum. I love McCain's frozen meals. I'm having another boring day today. Sorry about that, I had to go wash my face. So, I'm going to have a boring day and I don't know what I'll be doing tomorrow. I reckon I'll be reading all day and all of tomorrow. But yeah, I will say, from now on, I will be buying frozen meals from Woolies. Because I think they're better than these stupid diet companies. The frozen meals are slightly bigger and more filling, and they're not gluten-free. I can't eat gluten-free food. I cannot have a gluten-free diet. And I love rice, and most of their think McCain's Meals has rice in it. Yum. So yeah, I think for the most part I'll be hanging out with a friend for a while, and that'll be it. That was beautiful. It was delicious. Yeah. What else have I got over here? what I was going to do. I was going to react to a YouTube video. That's what I was going to do. I was going to react to it. What have I got here? Oh, I love orange juice. I really love orange juice. I really love it. So guess what? You're going to hear me pouring one. Where's the... Okay. And then we're going to react to some YouTube videos. That's my orange juice poured out. And yeah. Now I'm going to stop this recording. And yeah, then I'm going to react to some videos.